You're listening to 91 Reasons, a journey into the twisted landscape of pop culture. Keep your hands and arms inside the podcast at all times. And now, the voice, Jeff Tucker.
It is hard to believe, but we are back. We are back after at least months hiatus.
About 4 months. Hey, we're back.
We're back. It's 91 Reasons Homestuck, episode 39, I believe. 30, because I did an episode saying we were done doing Homestuck episodes. Because, I'll tell you folks, a lot went down in the Homestuck world. There's a lot to catch up on. I am not prepared for any of it, but I am here with my resident Homestuck experts. I am Jeff. I'm the voice of 91 Reasons, joined by
Austin,
Luna,
and they are the Homestuck devotees. They have been the flashlight in the darkness during this dark time. So we sit here on the verge of the end of Homestuck. You guys firmly believe the end is coming. The end is nigh next week.
Yes.
No.
Okay, so Austin, Luna, I turn it over to you for the almost final Homestuck ever. Go ahead.
So, before we actually jump to the end, I'd like to say that I came back from WonderCon 2016, which was unfortunately had a small Homestuck presence. It was right before 80 Ward came out, the comic would be back, so it was kind of an all-time low. Most of the Homestucks in that area so I went to the area where the Homestuck meetup normally is in this convention, and instead it was all Undertale fans, about 50 to 60 of them.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see is what happens in any fandom is that if there's no new product, the fans just move on. Mm-hmm. You know, it used to be we went to a convention and there would be 30 people dressed as Star Trek Next Generation. Mm-hmm. You're lucky if you see one.
Yep.
And that's a big property.
No,
same with Firefly.
I barely saw like any Star Trek or Harry Potter at WonderCon. No one does that anymore.
Even
we saw
the uniform stuff is gone.
We saw a Dumbledore and a Harry Potter. But if there's nothing new, the diehards stick with it, but everybody else just sort of moves on to other things.
And looking on some of the even more recent fandoms, Adventure Time has recently
Adventure Time's dead. There used to be a Finn and a Fiona on every aisle.
Yep.
No, they're gone.
Yeah.
But Homestuck was a case where the only cosplayers I would see and the only fans were people that were really, really dedicated, meaning the outfits were either A, homemade, and they were just a fan that really likes it, or B, it was a nicely put together outfit of bought products and sewn stuff, and it was a really obscure character.
Well, the most bizarre thing I noticed was that the fandom is dying. Mm-hmm. The game may never come out like we predicted. Mm-hmm. The comic is nearing its end. And We Love Fine had more merchandise than ever before.
We Love Fine has a whole section for Valve's games, like Portal and TF2. They have a wall that's just various superhero stuff. And then they have a wall that is only Homestuck, all Homestuck. The entire wall is Homestuck.
How can that be?
Well,
Did they sell enough of that stuff to make it viable?
Here's what I noticed is they try to make a lot of it stuff that anyone can buy, and it's really popular. What I noticed is, like, most of the merchandise is on the Scalemate. Do you know what the Scalemate is? The little dragon plushie?
Yeah, uh-huh.
How many different necklaces, purses, and items do you see based off
There was a lot.
It was mostly stuff like that. I noticed there were a lot of adults and kids who didn't even know what Homestuck was, and they were buying Squiddles and Scalemates just because they sell like crazy. Adults would run around with bags of Scalemates, and they've probably never even heard of Homestuck. Everyone had them just because they're popular. It's becoming its own brand at this point. It's weird.
The Scalemates, you mean?
They're trying to do the opposite of what they always do, which is they're trying to use merch to sell the comic.
Yeah, not comic to sell merch. It used to be, if you liked Homestuck, then you can get a poster off this character. Mm-hmm. Now there's all these plushies, and if you want to know more about them, you can read the comic.
Yeah, that's backwards.
Yeah.
That's totally backwards.
Plus, he's going to be making a kid-friendly version of the comic now. Watch.
Yeah, right.
Well,
right.
that was
the
a-
little golden book of Homestuck.
That
They
was
got to
a-
sell these Skelmate plushies to kids.
That was attempted last year in Paradox Space, 2 years ago.
Paradox Space was kid-friendly Homestuck.
It was kid friendly until the third update in, when they started cutting characters' heads off and making out with them. And then they admitted,
Head for
yeah,
Stardom was the first comic.
no, it was
But it
John,
wasn't-
It was John
Well, the opening.
with the hair, and then it was
announcement.
John's birthday,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, no, John's birthday wasn't for a while.
Was Headed for Stardom really the first
Headed
one?
for Stardom was the first comic.
And it was, cause they said it was kid friendly, and the first comic. Wow, that's crazy, man. That one's filled with cussing. That's like one of the worst ones.
Yeah.
They said family friendly in like the presentation.
So what do you want to do first? You want to review this product, or do you want to talk about the end of Homestuck?
Let's review this
The
product.
product.
Okay,
Because
'cause-
once you get him started on the end, he's
Right.
just he's gonna yell for an hour.
So you went to the We Love Fine booth. They had new product, and you bought, other than a cosplay item, the most expensive item there, which
Yep.
is what?
The Mayor Plushie.
The Mayor Plush doll.
This is the most expensive Homestuck thing they sell, actually. It's more expensive than any of the cosplay outfits you can buy.
I think Cal is a few dollars more.
Little Cow? No,
Yeah,
he's
isn't
been
he-
clearanced.
Isn't he? Oh, he's not. Yeah,
He's
when he
been
came out,
clearanced.
he was more.
Yes.
All right, well, Austin got one, and tell us all about it.
This plus is the Wayward Vagabond from the Oleo axe and the new axe. And he's huge. He's about 22 inches. And he's very soft. It's a really nicely made plushie. He comes with a small can of tab that can attach to his hand. And then mine comes with a small replica of Serenity from the comic, though this is not available anymore. You can only get this if you pre-ordered it or buy it at a convention, assuming they haven't lost stock of it. But
You
I'm
have to
sure by
describe
now.
what you're talking about.
It's a little plus Firefly,
A bug.
a bug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be the most important character in the comic, but we don't know yet. We'll
Well-
find out next week.
Why? There's nothing subtle about a firefly being called Serenity.
That
Yeah.
joke took me way too long to get.
Well, I don't understand. Why-
Everything WV does is a TV show reference. He ends up going down a hatch and finding a map in black light writing on the back. He needs to enter numbers every so how many hours.
He's kind of like a parody of those TV shows where you're like, are they gonna explain everything, or are they gonna leave us with a little cliffhanger? That's what his whole
you
story
should
is.
mention that the can is unbranded.
It is
Yeah.
unbranded,
Because
unfortunately.
They couldn't get the rights.
They could not get the rights to tab, so you just have to use your imagination.
or
It's the
make
right
your own
color.
label.
Make your own label. Yeah, it's the white
And
color.
I like that they gave him the genetic tattoo.
Yeah, he has
It's on
his,
the sprite flipped hand, but it's still cool.
he has his little barcode tattoo, which is really nicely printed on, actually. It's not like they did like a sticker. Like, this is sewn on him.
Yeah,
It's really
it's
cool.
right from the comic. It's not just
His
squares.
his Mayo Sass looks homemade and scrappy compared to the professional look of the rest of the doll, which really fits. And the letters are printed on. I mean, it's not like some of what Pumpkin's other products where you can tell they bought in bulk from a
Yeah, no, this was
American
specially
Apparel
made.
or another company. This is definitely a design team who really sat down and thought this out.
Yeah.
Meaning, I would assume this went into production almost 3 years ago in late 2013.
You think so?
That's what I would think.
I don't know, but I think there was definitely a toy designer involved. This isn't just
Yeah.
the What Pumpkin board thinking of
Well,
stuff.
you can definitely tell because some stuff has changed about the character that just wouldn't normally
Yeah,
work.
they showed
He's
both his
got-
eyes.
He's
They
got both eyes sewing.
flipped his mirrored
Which isn't
his
normal.
tattoo.
They mirrored his tattoo because he's supposed to hold the soda in the other one.
Yeah.
And he's got little sleeves that aren't in the comic that are like really nicely done. It's not stuff I'm really gonna complain
Yeah, in
about.
the comic he wouldn't have sleeves because it's just a bed sheet.
Yeah, there was no sleeves, but it looks good for the toy. So that's how they designed it. When I first got it, I was kind of upset about the eye, but you can literally just bend it over the eye super easily to have the accurate person, like that. Now he
They
looks
can't
like
see
that
that. They can't see that. but
Yeah, they
it's
can't
cool.
see that, but imagine a normal person. I thought his hood was going to be sewn on him, but you can take it off,
Oh my god, I didn't know that.
which is cool.
That's awesome.
And then you can take it and pull it over his whole face like in Act 1.
Yeah.
So I'm actually very impressed with this. I wish online they showed a bit more pixels. I wish they did it covering the one eye. That would have definitely made me want to
The
buy
only
it
thing
more.
it's missing is the dirt on his clothing to represent John's ghosts being smudged out.
That is true. They really wanted to make him look clean, though. And I'm sure the photos they got were stuff from the newer Axe, but he doesn't have those. Because they'll probably send a file of reference photos.
Yeah. With
To
all the
design
newer
the stuff. So yeah, I don't know about how do you recommend this, Luna? Is this worth 50
I
to
think
60?
it is, yeah.
I think it is.
It's one of the nicer products they've made.
It's it's the best high-end Homestuck collectible you can get. Because the vinyl figures were kind of expensive and now they're much cheaper. So there's not really a big high-end collectible.
The bedding is nice.
That is an exception. The bedding. That's brand new too. So I recommend it.
Your mother looked at that online for you and balked at the price tag because she didn't see it in real life. I think the only stumbling block to recommending it as a purchase is it's expensive. It's a nice product, but when you factor in shipping and tax, then the price starts
You gotta
to
get it at a con.
Yeah, see, we got it at a con where it's cash and carry.
And we got it with Serenity. He normally doesn't come with Serenity. That was a pre-order bonus.
Yeah, see, that would be a little off-putting, not getting that and having to pay $15 or $17 more in shipping.
Serenity lights up, but I can't get it to work. So the ability of a light-up thing also kind of increases.
Yeah, I saw it was
value.
lighting up earlier.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like they cheat you out for what they're trying to charge.
Mike's
It's
over
just
here.
That,
Mike's over here.
the sipping can get a little out of hand.
Yeah.
I remember once, my mother tried to order a Nepeta hat, and the sipping back then, they've improved it now, was so crazy that it was over $50.
Yeah, I looked at something recently online, and the shipping was over 50% of the price of the item.
Yeah.
I can't even
crazy.
justify that. That's ridiculous. But it makes you want to go back in the store and buy more to somehow psych yourself out that it's gonna. Well, if I buy more, it'll be worth it to pay that. So it's a big pain. But what are you gonna do? All right. So you've reviewed that. You have some WonderCon interviews we're gonna play at the very end of the show.
Yes. It's an interview with two cosplayers that I met that were very friendly, a Dave and a Carcat. There were a few others I would have liked to have interviewed, but unfortunately, by the time I had found them, they'd already scampered off into the con.
All right. Well, you met these people where?
Down in the pit where the Homestuck meetup normally is.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and play those interviews now, and then after that, we'll talk about the end of Homestuck.
All right. All right, I am sitting here at WonderCon in the pretty obvious Homestuck meetup. They're everywhere. And I am sitting here with
Carcat
and
Dave Strider.
and it is pretty obvious that you two like Dave and Carcat.
Yeah.
What is it about these characters that makes you like them so much? Want to dress up as them and run around these conventions?
Honestly, for me, for Dave, it's obviously the crappy rapping. He can't rap at all. But he still does it so well. He still has a passion for it in his comics. I enjoy his comics, actually, and I actually enjoy his attitude on life.
But he's got the sickest beats.
He does, but his rapping still has a lot to work on.
He has, what's the word I'm looking for? He has the opportunity to be a great rapper.
Yes, he does.
That is, if the world didn't end, he kind of got put in a
Well,
video
no,
game.
we hope that it comes back. We can hope.
How would you feel if the comic ended with Dave being like a superstar rapper in the new universe? Would that make you happy?
Yeah, that means I have to adjust my cosplay and then be a super rapper and learn actually how to rap.
Yeah.
We allowed to cuss?
No, we try to keep the show family friendly. Sorry.
Just making sure. Me for Carcat, honestly, I think it's just... I love the character Carcat. It's really... I don't know how to explain this one, but Carcat just like kind of stood out as a character for me. Probably because he is actually quite like me in multiple ways. And it's just fun to I can't speak. It's fun to cosplay him.
Oh,
I
what?
think that's actually why a lot of people do Homestuck. It's because there's so many characters to choose from with so many personalities that there's bound to be someone like you.
Yeah. Well, like what, over 130 at this point?
Probably. Jesus.
And it's fair to say there's no obscure character in the comic. Everybody gets their screen time.
Yeah.
Everybody gets their moment to shine too.
They definitely do.
Now, do you two sip Dave and Carcat?
Yeah.
Because you were talking about this beforehand.
Yeah, we both ship.
It's a Dave Cat thing.
Yeah.
I'm actually currently wearing a shirt as Carcat that says, "It's a Dave thing. You wouldn't understand."
That is amazing.
This was pre-planned because I was gonna be Dave, so it worked.
It worked.
What is it about Dave and Carcat, those two characters specifically, that you're like, these two need to hang out forever?
I think it's honestly how shitty Dave can be at times and how pissed off Carcat can be that just makes it like this is what needs to happen.
Exactly. Couldn't say it better myself.
All right.
So you aren't fully caught up with the comic,
I'm not.
but it is supposed to be ending soon,
Which
apparently.
I am sad about.
How do you feel about that?
Dude, I know I haven't caught up yet, and I know that there are some things that I know there are some things that I need to know, and some things have been spoiled for me, so I know some of it. But I'm honestly very sad because Homestuck has been my life for like 2 years, and it's gonna be hard to see it go. But I'm hoping that I'm pretty sure Hussey announced that he was gonna be making a game too, so I'm excited for that.
You think the game's gonna release?
I think so. I hope so.
We're gonna reach the 4-year point soon since he announced it.
I know, right?
So I'm just recently got up into like the middle of Act 6, and I just started back up in New Year's because I have this bad habit of stopping it at like a really dry point, and then I'll pick it back up and I'll get farther and farther. But that's what I don't want it to end, because I'm always going to keep reading, and it's every time I start it over, I feel like I'm just being welcomed right back in.
And there's gonna be a point where that content ends. You
And
want
I'm
it
gonna
to
be so sad because this Homestuck really is kind of just like going home for me. Because there's so many characters like, hey, I remember when I was kind of like stressed out like that, or other stuff.
They're relatable characters in many ways.
Yeah. Do you think the fandom's still gonna live on though?
Oh,
Yes.
The people?
Yeah.
Well, let's think of it like this. I know there are shows that have been done, and like they only had 1 season, 1 year, and I've seen people cosplay them here. And
Attack on Titan.
No, I'm talking about Firefly.
Oh, that's
Firefly. Firefly has
Oh,
a
that
huge
too.
following. We're talking conventions. We're talking everything.
Like, but that show was over 10 years ago, and
Yeah.
that was only for 1 season and 1 movie. Think of how long Homestuck has gone on.
I think you have a pretty fair point there. You think it's safe to assume that we'll see a Homestuck convention down the line?
Definitely.
Like
'Cause I know
how
there's for
Firefly's
sure-
gotten?
Like, I know that there's actually just been like random meetups. If we keep getting it bigger and bigger, because a lot of people I work with don't know what Homestuck is, and I'm trying to get them into it.
Yeah.
But
And maybe it ending and being a completed comic will get more people to read it.
Oh yeah, because people will figure out, like, honestly, for me, the Act 1 was very hard for me to get through because it was kind of like a little boring. But then once I got through there, I was just like, this is great. I love this. So, like, honestly, once it ends and people know that it gets better, it's gonna keep growing.
It's gonna spread.
It's gonna spread
Like a
worldwide.
virus. Everyone's
Yes.
slowly gonna get hit and start noticing their skin turning gray and like, oh
Yes.
no, it's happening.
They're growing horns.
The chains.
But I've also noticed a lot of the younger generation, like maybe not even in their teens yet, also really like Homestuck.
Yeah.
So I'd say in about 10 years, when they all get into their 20s, it's gonna pick off like a fire. Just for the fact that's when those are the people that are gonna be going to cons. Those are gonna be people who have the money to have the cons even happen.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, well, that was a good job, Austin, meeting those people and getting interviews. There are still a pretty viable, strong fan base surrounding Homestuck.
Yes.
But there's been a lot going on behind the scenes, getting the final pages up, Hussey's veiled tweets and stuff about finishing, right? There's a lot
Yes.
going on behind the scenes. So much so that you guys got in an argument over whether you're enjoying it right or not.
Yeah.
So I'm going to back off for a minute. Wait. I'm going to back off for a minute and let you roll because Austin has a lot to say. Luna will chime in.
I'll chime in, but he's going
I-
to be the shouting.
Austin
He's going to go
on
full
91
Carcat
Reasons
right now.
presents the end of Homestuck. Go.
I just want to begin by saying that I feel like it's really mishandled. I don't know if we want to talk about this stuff or not, but I do know spoilers for the ending because for some reason Hussey leaks get out like crazy.
How much you know? Because some more got out today that goes against what's been said.
Okay, I know some of the end-game sips. I know the music.
No, you
I
don't.
know. No, there was different
James
music.
Roach said today on Twitter, the music was fake. The real one is not by James Roach, but by 4 music members, and it's 4 new songs strung together. It's
Well,
not the
that
10-minute one that was
That
leaked.
is very disappointing because I would like to say that the whole fandom got in an uproar force about this music leak that happened. Now
There were 2.
Now, Dad, I want to ask you how you feel about this.
Yes.
The music leak was it was like a violin song. It was
It was a
orchestrational.
10-minute long, like, super orchestral, beautiful music.
here's the thing,
Doesn't
if
fit
you-
Homestuck, but it was nice.
If you leaned in and listened to this beautiful orchestration, it was beat by beat the Gremlins 2 theme.
It did sample some Gremlins 2 in there.
Yes, that was the end of Homestuck. That on a violin.
That's
And
because
you know
it's
what?
a reference. Because it's a reference.
It is a
It's good
reference.
reference. Because there's a reference to Barty's Brouhaha 2 Part 2, The Legend of the Golden Skeleton.
Now, for everyone
Which is-
listening right now who is questioning what on earth Luna is talking about, let me explain
I
that.
might have mentioned it before.
I'm sure people have forgotten. This is the most obscure thing in the entire fandom.
The Gremlins 2 theme plays, and Andrew Hussey takes a knife out in the woods and murders his brother and assumes his identity.
Basically, back in about 2012, during Act 5, the end of Act 5, Act 6 actually, right?
Which will for when?
Brouhaha, yes.
Barty started when in Act 4, early Act 5 days.
And then it continued through Act 5 and 6.
Act 5 and 6.
Okay.
It ended in about 2012, I think.
Basically, this was Andrew Hussey's home video series. It looked like something out of the 90s, but that was the entire joke of the thing.
Yeah, it
was kind of like ironic.
200p resolution.
Yeah. But basically, Andrew Hussey made these home videos. He later reused the plots to these home videos into the actual comic. He liked them so much. And the most notable thing is that there's a lot of action. Hussey starts beating up all his friends, and anytime that happens, he plays the Gremlins 2 theme.
Yeah.
And these aren't like Andrew Hussey's private stats. Like, these are on YouTube.
These are on YouTube.
He publicly
it's put up
posted
by
these.
his brother Byron. It's on the Barty Brew channel, and the Jandrew Edits channel has the first episode available.
This used to be romanticized in the MSPA forums. This had its own like mini fandom. People in the Homestuck fandom really enjoyed
Barty Brew is up there with what's his name? Oh shoot, I'm forgetting. What was the fake adventure?
The fake adventure? What do you mean?
Dr. Paradox? Dr. something. Oh my god, I'm blanking out.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Ghost Psychiatrist.
Dr. David Brenner?
David Brenner, Ghost
That whole
Psychiatrist.
fake adventure?
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically,
Barty's up there, but Barty actually has like a half hour of footage to watch.
Yeah. Right before the MSPA forums went down, this was
That's the thing you can talk about.
Yeah.
Forums are gone.
So, this is one of the first problems I have with the end of Homestuck, is that right before the new updates were posted, the MSPA forums got taken down due to what is believed to be a terrorist hack. Mm-hmm. But when the servers were repaired, they never went back up.
No.
So for the end of Homestuck, his very own forums are not being hosted. You cannot talk on the MSPA website about the updates because he took down the forums.
And every link to the forums is dead. The forums are just gone off
They're
the
just
internet.
gone off the internet. Like, how do you feel about that?
I'm not listening. I'm sorry. What?
The MSPA forums are
When
gone.
you guys go into minutia, I tune out.
We haven't talked about the actual comic yet. We're just talking about how it's being handled. The MSPA forums, which were hosted on the website,
The official.
the official forums,
Yeah.
it was hacked by a terrorist group about a month ago. It finally went back up, but then it was taken down, and it's never come back for the end of the comic. It's just Hussey deleted it.
A lot of websites have done away with their own targeted message boards because social
It's
media.
just an outdated thing.
Most social media now is where people go for that. You're a bunch of nerds hanging out in your own individual. I gotta be in a safe space. Blah blah blah. No. Just put your opinion on social media where everybody can hear it. Right? Have a discussion there.
I kind of liked the forums because it was more obscure stuff.
there's still
talked
a lot
about.
of
You're talking to the guy who spent half his life in the land of Ooh forums.
Hey, those were good forums. I think they're still up.
Land of Ooh, they go up and down all the time. If you're looking for Homestuck forums, Face Punch is still around. They have an active Homestuck one. There's Reddit Homestuck, but really, it's not much there
I would not
anymore.
recommend that.
It's okay for from some of the big discussion threads, but all the smaller posts are basically dead. If you're looking for a actual discussion of the comic, then even 4chan's beating Reddit right now.
Yeah,
But
Reddit right now has taken
the Reddit Discord is good.
The Reddit, yes.
The Homestuck Reddit Discord is the best place for discussion right now.
What the front page of the Reddit mainly is when it's not arguing, it's a lot of just edits and fan works. A lot of fan art. If you have any art you want to post, the Reddit's probably better than Tumblr at this point.
Yeah, Tumblr is just scream your opinion, and some people click hard on it.
Tumblr is opinionated. Reddit is mostly the art site
Reddit is
now.
good for sharing art if it's not drowning in the terrible posts.
Yeah, yes.
And the Discord's the best for talking.
So, the end of the comic finally started launching with some updates we got. The first update was very, very obviously a damage control update to get as many people in the comic as possible that were convinced it's dead, because we returned to a character that has not shown up in 3.5 years, Spade Slick. and it returned back to the original MSPA narrator format. This was definitely made to scoop up as many of the older fans as possible, get everyone back on the train, and it worked. What do you think of that update? The slick one.
The slick one? I think it was okay. You can obviously tell that the week of updates was written last summer and supposed to go up then, but he didn't want to go on pause there.
And then after that, we finally start to head back into what we used to be before. Literally the same thing. And I bring that up because it's just the characters readying up for the battle again, with not much action.
It's all stuff that'll make sense reading it all together, but right now is really tedious.
But that's
we
what
get updates that are literally the same panel from another perspective, and that's the whole update.
And that's where my criticism comes in, because he's obviously making Homestuck at this point to not be read by the serial reader. It's made for one person to pick up and read all together. Yeah. Someone has to sit down and read the 10,000 pages and get the way through it.
That's going back to him trying to draw new readers and not caring about the old ones.
Yeah, which is what really gets me, because if I read this comic from the very beginning and got up to this point, right before the final battle is, I would feel very disappointed, because he never undid the retcons, and he's just continuing on with the comic, and he's ignoring a lot of earlier details that he established. And I would not read these updates. I told you that, remember?
I had to beg you to read them.
I said I was not going to read these updates.
They're just not even reading to them, most of them.
They're mostly pixels.
It's mostly pixels.
And that's what ultimately got me to convince him. I said, well, if it's just pixels on different perspectives of the battle, I'll just skim through it and
wait for them all to go up. It was that week's update, it was way better to wait for them to go up and then do them in one sitting.
And then I read what I considered to ultimately be the most disappointing part of the entire comic. Words cannot even begin to describe how bad I thought these updates were. I mean, horrendously bad. I'm talking typos, badly written, badly characterized. I just have so many problems with this. I think one of the best examples is when Carcat finally goes back to the Dream Bubbles and sees Mina. First off, he doesn't know who Mina is, and you know what? I agree to that. I wrote that up a while ago. That has to be addressed, because
double meteor trip was confirmed.
Carcat never met Mina on this timeline. It was retcon, so Carcat wouldn't know who Mina is. So that made a lot of sense. But from a story point of view, we got a dumb scene where we just had to be caught up on the same information again and again. Carcat had to go through the same tedious dialogue again, because it was retconned, except this time around, it was a lot harsher and meaner. This is where I begin to realize the comic's getting really mean-spirited. Carcat called Matuna idiot sulks in the helmet. And I'm surprised that didn't get an outrage. I'm actually legitimately shocked.
Complaining about that. I remember, even I was taken aback a little with that comment. Like, that's not Carcat.
A while ago, Carcat called Nepeta autistic.
Carcat's the one who was protecting Nepeta's mental health. Now he's making fun of Matuna?
A while in the comic, Carcat protected Nepeta being autistic. And then he felt sorry for Matuna and Mina Bound. He said Matuna was the only troll he liked because he knew he has a mental problem, and he can respect that. So you're telling me that the retcon makes it so Carcat just calls Matuna the idiot Solix in the helmet? I'm legitimately shocked nobody online is upset over this. I mean, there have been numerous updates for the newer ones where Caliborn says something and everybody gets in a fit of how triggered they are over these updates. And then Carcat over here is calling Matuna the idiot Solix in the helmet, and everybody's okay with it.
It sounds like Hussey's sacrificing characterization of Carcats to make a dumb meta joke about how he's making 4chan mad.
But once again, I thought he wasn't trying. I thought he wasn't trying to appeal to serial readers. Also, I thought we learned that being aggressive towards the fans is literally the worst decision you can make. See, the new Ghostbusters movie where the director told the fans to leave him alone and not see his movie.
That's what Hussey just did in his Vine.
That's what we're about to get to. Hussey made a Vine flipping all his fans off. He really did. Because he sided with all these. The fact that it was Dave Cat doesn't even matter at this point.
We showed you. Did we not show you the Vine yet?
Okay.
There's a Vine of video, a 6-second video, where it's just he smiles at the camera and then writes on a piece of paper, "Dave Cat is canon," and then signs his name.
I don't even care if Dave Cat's canon at this point because we know it's canon. The fact is, he sided with a bunch of people on Reddit who were being childless and immature and threatening each other and harassing each other, and I don't like that at all. He really is rubbing off as that whole Ghostbusters incident where he's just telling the fans to flip off, and like he's really just giving us all the middle finger at this point. He really is. He's guilting you into the end of Homestuck. It's his way of saying, if you don't like my webcomic, then you're offensive. Mm-hmm. Like, Dad, how do you feel about that?
People either like it or they don't. You can't browbeat people into liking it. And you can't pull well, if you don't like it, there's something wrong with you, because everybody's different.
That's what the creators are doing.
Yeah, you don't get to do that.
All the people behind the scenes are going on the Reddit. The people leaking it, Hussey himself, are basically saying that he's siding with the people that say, if you don't like this sip because it's gay, then you're homophobic.
People are allowed to like or dislike whatever they want. And why is the current generation so obsessed with labeling somebody homophobic, transphobic, racist
I don't know.
At the drop of a hat? At the first sign of somebody not buying into whatever you're selling, we're labeled with whatever they're racist, homophobe, this, that. It can't. There's no shades of gray. You're either in my boat or you're drowning. Why is that?
I don't know.
So is that what Hussey's doing? You either like me or get out.
Yes, that's basically what he's saying.
But a lot of the fans are saying, fine, we're out. Mm-hmm. Is that what he wants?
That's basically what he wants.
Well, that's just not the way to treat the fans.
And
sorry.
It's even a case where it's like, it's not so much the fans outright yelling, God, Hussey, how can you be like that? People are just leaving. People are just like, yeah, I've lost interest in the comic.
Well, yeah, with a break this long, who cares? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not even the fact that he's taking a break this long. Mm-hmm. It's compounded with a break this long plus the on again, off again. Is anybody going to get the video game nonsense?
Oh, yeah.
The Kickstarter exclusives that somehow have found their way for sale at tables on conventions. Mm-hmm. Give me a break. Hussey's had plenty of opportunity to make things right with people, and he continually makes the wrong decisions.
I didn't support the Kickstarter, but I got the exclusive pins for $1 from What Pumpkin.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
They were in a bargain bin with a sticky note that said pins, $1.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
They were added to the website later that week for $15 apiece.
Yeah, whatever.
It's like, it just, there's so many questionable things.
There was an update put up, something happened in the comic, and you guys nearly got into a Dukaroo. What happened?
So, you're not going to believe this. After all the fighting over this character that's gay, he was straight for an update. And kissed a girl. And hit on a girl.
Why?
Because why not? Because it appeals to everyone.
But that's not how gay works. Unless he's bi.
But he's not bi, because he went on a whole thing about how he's not into girls, and he has to tell a girl that he's gay. But then he hits on girls.
Then you're not. If you're not true to your characters, you don't have a project. You're just Adam Sandler. You're just people saying lines and going through the motions, as opposed to real character development.
And one of the problems was that people were noticing that we're nearing the end of the comic, and that Jade does not have a romantic interest. So one of the characters literally just kind of walked up to Jade and kissed her, so all the fans can go, oh, so he's in a romantic relationship
Yeah,
now.
well, look at Pretty in Pink. Ducky spends the whole movie pining for Molly Ringwald's Andy, and at the end, she goes off with the rich douchebag, and he stands there for a second, and then Christy Swanson comes up, who we've never seen in the movie before, and they walk off, and you're like, well, at least he got somebody.
Yeah.
Was it the one he was in love with the whole time? No, but she was pretty. He got a pretty one.
Basically what it is, it's a really fandom-loved character who people think's very attractive. So now
Jade was alone for 5 minutes. And she's out near the Green Sun, which is, as we've seen before, exactly 3-year distance from where the main characters are. So she's out there in space, completely alone. Out of nowhere, one of the main characters comes up, kisses her, and then she wakes back up. Like, he did the 3-year journey in like 5 minutes just for the kiss.
Naturally. I don't know.
There's just, oh my god. And I keep thinking, oh, he'll explain it later. He'll explain it later. And here we are, at the end of the tale.
You sound like me watching Revenge of the Sith.
And I'm like, how are you going to do somehow? It's gotta connect somehow. It's got to all make sense.
The problem you have with modern day popular culture is that we continually put our faith in people that they have a master plan, even though they're flying by the seat of their ass pants. Lost,
Yeah.
The Terminator franchise.
Well, here's
all these different franchises that we think, well, they've sat down and mapped it out, and they're just making it up as they go along.
Here's something that you're going to find concerning. Andrew Hussey has stated that Lost is one of the finest examples of fluid storytelling out there, and that he really appreciates how it's told.
Which Homestuck episode is the one about Jack's tattoo?
Well, technically he does have a tattoo on his arm.
The
mayor's tattoo.
So we're on the cusp of the strip ending.
Yeah. 9 o'clock tonight, our time, in 5 hours, supposedly the climax of Homestuck is going to go up. And then there's a week of epilogue, and then the big, giant, the end of Act 7. Whatever happens in Act 7.
How long is Act 7 going to be?
We don't know other than 1 day. It all goes up on 4/13. It could be one flash. It could be a few pages of credits. We don't know.
It was leaked that the ending flash will be over 16 minutes.
There's within today's flash and whatever Act 7 is, there is a half hour of footage.
Yeah, and then at least the end of Act 6 will be over 16 minutes.
Yeah, it's longer than Cascade. We know that.
So, here's my question. You've seen the movie The Truman Show. Mm-hmm. It's about a guy who doesn't know that his entire life is a TV show. He's on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Well, when Truman finally figures it out, he takes a boat to the vast end of the soundstage, climbs a set of stairs, and says, good night, good morning, in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And he walks out, he takes a bow, and he walks out, and they cut the feed. Mm-hmm. And throughout the whole movie, we've been watching these people who have devoted their lives to watching Truman. They have Truman pillows and needlepoint, pictures on the wall, the products. There's a security guard who's into it. And when Truman walks through the door and the show ends, the security guard looks at the camera and goes, let's see what else is on. So my question to you is that going to be you when Homestuck ends? Or are you going to go, well, what else is there? Or are you going to just drop to the floor in a puddle now that it's all over?
I think there'll be at least a few days of recovery needed, but I don't know.
Here's the thing.
Rapture Day.
Rapture Day. I watch you guys from the outside. Austin doesn't give a crap. He likes Homestuck the way it used to be. Mm-hmm. He lives in the past. He buys toys of stuff that has already occurred in the comics, things that he likes. You are in the present. Mm-hmm. You want to know how it's going to end. Yeah. You are emotionally invested in this thing. If it sucks, Austin will not give a crap and move on to something else. What will you do, Luna, when it sucks, or if it sucks, because you have no backup plan?
I don't know. I need another creative outlet. What do I do when there's no more panels to edit?
What will you do?
I gotta find
I'm serious.
Else.
There's always the most viable
You gonna get into Calvin and Hobbes?
Oh yeah, well, it's Neo Cosmos, but I don't know.
I wouldn't go to Neo Cosmos.
That's the only one people are going to.
That's literally the same exact people.
It's all the same people as Homestuck. It's everyone except Hussey.
I couldn't imagine siding with those people again. The only person who contributes to Neo Cosmos that is a cool person, Papers Everywhere.
Papers Everywhere.
She's cool. Yeah. I've talked to her before. And why not just write your own ending to Homestuck? What's stopping you from doing that?
Because I don't care.
What do you mean you don't care? What's stopping you? Just write your own ending. Illustrate it, write 1,000 pages. What's gonna stop you?
I don't know. I have Factstuck. I'll finish that someday.
You will? You sure?
Sure.
You a fan of Vince?
Yeah, I'll say it right now. It's returning on 6/16.
It is?
I'll get off my lazy butt and do it. Unless Homestuck ending is so bad that I never want to look at the art style again.
Well, I mean, we already have a case where...
It could happen, you guys. You laugh. You say it with a laugh. Need I point to The Matrix?
Oh, no.
Which started out... And The Matrix created an entire massive fandom that by the time the third movie rolled around had given up and walked away. The Hobbit just did it. Massive fandom. By the third movie, they walked away. Divergent...
Oh,
they didn't even wait to the last one. The next to last one, the Divergent people walked away.
Mortal Instruments is a TV show now.
Mortal Instruments, Hunger Games, these things run their course, they're popular, and then they are forgotten.
That's what Hussey's trying to avoid by getting rid of all the old people and only having new kids, and the Rapture Day announcement coming next week.
Is the game ever going to come out, or is that not part of his plan anymore?
We don't
Probably
know.
not.
We know his plan is, in the comic... announce a new quote project, whatever that means, and release some sort of merch that he says is going to make Homestuck live forever.
Here's what I would suggest you guys do. You're creative, both of you. Mm-hmm. Sculpt some Homestuck little figurines and put a QR code on the bottom of them. And make like your own Homestuck amiibos that take you to panels in the comic.
Ooh, I'd love to see
that. That would be fun. Do something creative.
I do,
because all you do is live in this guy's world and sort of manipulate it a little bit.
Here's the thing. Okay, this is a really funny story. Immediately after I read that panel of Dave Petta and Jade kissing, I got so frustrated that I didn't even go on the tag to argue about it. I opened up a new Tumblr tag, and you know what I did? I wrote 9 paragraphs of fan inventor ideas of better things that could have happened in the comic. 9 paragraphs! I just typed up furiously.
You're becoming the Homestuck Plinkett.
So, what I've been planning to do is, I've been drawing...
He's talked about that, doing that too.
Yeah. I've talked about that too.
He wants to do an hour Plinkett review.
Who was it that kissed?
Dave Petta.
Dave Petta.
Which is an old character
Dave
that now...
Petta is Dave Strider and Nepeta, the troll cat girl, combined into a non-gender being.
Oh, so Dave Petta, non-gender being, making out. What you making out? Oh my God!
So, the first thing I did was I wrote these paragraphs. The second thing I did was write up a bunch of Homestuck Plinkett stuff. I really did write that up. And then, on top of that, I started drawing art of some of the characters and what designs I wanted to see. I'm serious. If the ending's bad, I really am going to start planning to write my own ending.
Yeah, you'd be the third one by now.
I would be the third one by now. There were 2 other people that are doing this. One person started in 2012, actually, a long time ago, and is making...
One person got pissed off long before you did.
Yeah, I know.
If you were around for 2011, then you left. There's hardly anyone from that time left anymore.
Yeah.
Because Cascade happened, which was the huge climax of the comic. It's all going to end here. And then he did Act 6, which is literally a retelling of the first act. And it went on just as long.
He reset it.
He reset the whole comic.
So what did you guys argue about?
We argued...
He just wouldn't read it at all.
I wouldn't read it.
He just wouldn't read the new stuff at all.
I thought it would get me really angry, and it did. I said it's going to be written like crud. And I read it, and it was the dumbest thing I've ever written. Whoa.
So what is there to fight about?
He was really mad that I didn't like it at first.
I was just trying to get him to read it. He wouldn't read it at all.
Wait, are you mad? Were you mad that he didn't read it? Or were you mad that he read it and he didn't like it?
I was mad they didn't read it. After he read it, I was fine. Because if he's going to be mad at it, at least read it so he can be mad at it.
Well, I find that all hilarious from the 2 who haven't read my books.
Look, I'm just going to be honest. I didn't want to support the people behind that comic because at the time I felt like that Hussey hadn't changed until he made an official post. And the only official news we got from Hussey was him flipping us all off. So.
Didn't you say that his wife vanished?
Yes, we think he's on his third girlfriend by now.
We don't know anymore.
We don't know.
We've given up on following his life.
His
doesn't make any sense.
His wife disappeared off the internet.
Hussey has 3 wives and some of them are like 18. We don't know.
Yeah, he's hanging out with some really young people now, from what we can tell.
He's got a beard, and he likes to be called Daddy.
He got a neck beard, and he wants you to call him Daddy. I don't know why. He's losing it. He's completely losing it.
That's the same thing that happened to George Lucas.
I forgot. No. I don't think George Lucas did this.
I want you to call me
Daddy. He got into vaping.
Got into vaping?
Yeah, Hussey vapes now.
We don't know if we haven't seen a picture of him vaping, but all his pictures, he's in a shirt, vaping-related T-shirts.
Do you want to get into vaping?
No. And you know what? I don't even care if it's ironic. It doesn't make it funny. He's still vaping. I don't even know what to think at this point. All I know is that I don't know why I'm gonna watch the ending, but here I am, you know when in the Plank Who Avenged the Sith with you, when he spends 20 minutes talking about how C-3PO saying "here we go again" is how the fans thought. We know it's gonna be bad, but we're just doing it to have conclusions, just to say the prequels are done, just to say it's over.
Well, yeah, no, I get that. If I'd put all this time and effort into Homestuck, I'd want to see how it was going to end.
I was telling him, like, no matter how bad it is, you put in 3 years, you can go 1 week, a week and a half is all you got to put in now.
I put in movies, and after about an hour, taking them out and never watched them again, because my life is too short to give up to that kind of crap. But if I had devoted a long time to this kind of stuff, I was going to see Dark Knight Rises no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, I went and saw Batman versus Superman. I like Batman and Superman. I want to know what's going to happen. You know, that's just the way it goes. I could have left or taken Iron Man 3. You know, I don't care.
I think part of the reason that gets me so angry, though, is just the way everyone acted. The way that the comic behind the scenes was not handled well. How rude Hussey is, how he doesn't give us information, how... It's... Because it used to be
But here's the thing, Austin. We live in an age where... Who are you to expect anything out of him?
Well, I just thought
I grew up in an age where we had no access to the people who created the things. Wait, let me finish. George Lucas was an enigma. Steven Spielberg was a mystery. They weren't on social media. They didn't post where they were having ice cream. Let me finish. They never posted where they were eating, having ice cream, who they were dating. You just either liked what they put out or you didn't, and nobody gave a crap. But you guys now seem to think that if the owner isn't taking you out for chili dogs, that he's not done his part. And I don't get that.
Well, here's the thing. What I was trying to say is that I kind of envy that, because I definitely would have supported the comic now if Hussey's actions on the bad side. Here's what I'm trying to say is that the only time we hear from Hussey is when things get so out of control and bad that he has to step in and do something bad. We never heard a positive thing. It's never like the people at What Pumpkin have said, hey, you guys are pretty great, we're sending out a newsletter, get ready for the updates. It's always something bad. Hussey's wife...
Well, maybe he's an a-hole.
Hussey's wife literally started a Reddit account to yell at us. See, he's done nothing but yell at us.
Well, how about this? You met Hussey at the beginning of this journey you're taking.
Yes.
You were nice, you were cordial,
yes.
You got autographs. What would you do now if he had a signing?
I wouldn't go near him because
I
would yell at him. I wouldn't go.
I still would. I still like what he makes.
No, I couldn't look that man in the face. I really am not. I'm not proud of him or his wife or any. How do you walk up to him and say like, "Hey, it's nice to meet you"? You know all those times your wife told me to like go die. I really love that. And when your wife went to Artist Alley and stole all that fans' merchandise and posted it on Twitter, man, your wife's a real star. Go have fun going out in Artist Alley and stealing Carcat keychains from people. You're an A+ indie artist that totally supports other indie artists. That's what I would think.
There you go. There it is.
Oh, and where are those Carcat keychains you stole? Because I'll buy one off you.
How do we keep this kid as far from him as possible?
Oh, no. Like the Keymaster and Vince Gordo. We have to get these two together.
I don't want to be involved with them. His wife would post pixels of stuff she confiscated from Artist Alley and be like, got another sweet haul from fans, can't sell stuff.
See, what I can't figure out is, if I was an artist and I was making that kind of stuff, and they said, well, you're violating copyright, I go, well, I'm just going to put it in my car.
Yeah, but they take it.
No, you can't take my stuff.
That's what bothered me. See,
well, it's obviously not California, because I can't see that happening in California. The only way I can see that happening is if you were selling Batman vs. Superman DVDs. Then they would take them.
That's literally stealing the IP, though. That's literally you're taking the content.
Right, there's nothing art in it at all.
There's no art in it at all.
Right, no,
there's
I get
a few Homestuck USBs that float around the internet, and those are highly bad to have on your hands. But, like, a keychain of a little chibi Carcat, that's considered just as bad.
Why does Hussey care and not DC Comics?
And what's even weirder is that for a while...
the Tumblr... the logic they post on Tumblr is that if you buy fan art of a indie developer's artwork, then you're physically taking money from his wallet.
You are right in that respect, except a guy with a full wall on We Love Fine is not an indie guy anymore.
Yeah.
He is officially sold out. Mm-hmm. The t-shirts are at Hot Topic. That is the definition of selling out.
Yes. I think at this point...
that argument doesn't work.
It's not independent anymore. It is definitely mainstream.
Yeah. It's corporate.
Yeah. And I feel like some of the updates of the merchandise releases are timed a little too well.
Would you consider Empire Strikes Back indie?
Only Lucas himself, because he was such an independent filmmaker, but the actual thing of The Empire Strikes Back is not. No.
He was self-funded. Mm-hmm. No studio put up money.
Yeah.
He borrowed from Bank of America against...
That's independent.
Yeah. But it's still corporate. There's still toys at Toys R Us.
You can still buy keychains and
funny, man. I love people who bend the rules only when it's to their advantage. Mm-hmm. I'm an indie guy. Well, that's amazing. Hey, does Hot Topic want to sell? Absolutely. Let me sign. Are you still indie? I'm still indie. No, you're not. No, you are not
Mikkel
indie.
and his indie cred.
Yeah, no. Just give me a break. I had indie cred. Joel McHale! That's a soup reference. Well, any final thoughts before the end of Homestuck?
We're now, what? I can't maths right now. 4.5 hours from possibly the end. And then we have epilogue.
I just hope for some good older stuff, because this Flash, the end of Act 6, a lot of the art assets for it were completed in 2012, 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. So it's very possible that a lot of the content will be very old-looking Homestuck stuff, and not the newer style of the comic. Not new storytelling or new art. It will stuff that you look at it, you will go, yeah, that makes me feel nostalgic for what it used to be. And that's what I hope for.
All right, well, we're going to go on this journey. We'll put this episode up probably tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah. Hussey might beat you, so people listening to this might have already seen it.
Oh, yeah, no, they will have already seen it. Mm-hmm. If he holds to his schedule, they will have already seen it. But we'll do another episode to review all of that stuff.
Review it, yeah.
Because you wanted to get this in before you were tainted by the end.
Yeah, it's much better to do all this before the end. Because after the end...
After this, there's no break.
There's no break,
This last weekend was the 4-day break that he did to let things quiet down.
Simmer down. Yeah. Simmer down now.
Tonight we get tonight at midnight or tomorrow at like noon. We don't know which schedule he'll follow. We'll get the biggest Flash in Homestuck, the biggest climax the comic will ever have. And then there's a week of updates that don't exist in any act. We don't know what's in them. There's 40 pages over a week. And then it's the epilogue.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, Luna. You are the Linus in the Pumpkin Patch.
There's 7 days of 40 updates. What's in them?
Every Halloween, the Hussey rises from the pumpkin patch and distributes Homestuck updates to all the good little boys and girls. And Austin's Lucy or Sally going, it never happens. It never happens.
We're getting the walk around, man.
All right.
No, we ain't.
And any final word on the game? Is it ever coming out?
No, we haven't heard anything since the last podcast.
Wow.
And
all we know is that it's 2D. That's it.
The only thing that's happened since the last podcast is people have debunked his news post so much that people have legitimately...
people are concerned that the pictures we did get of Hive Swap 2D was made in Photoshop. There's mock-ups. They haven't coded a game yet.
Because he said the art was by lead designer Papers Everywhere, and Papers Everywhere later said that he wasn't actually hired until after that news post was put up. So how was he lead designer if the news post went up beforehand?
It's a quandary. It's a mystery. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up then. We'll see you in a few days with the final, we really mean it, final Homestuck update review, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
all right.
This is it.
Brace yourselves.
I'm Andrew Hussey. Thanks for I'm not really Andrew Hussey. Thanks for tuning in. I am Jeff. I'm the voice. I'm joined, as always, by our resident Homestuck experts,
Luna,
Austin,
and the mayor himself.
He's gonna wave into the mic.
He's gonna wave
Mayor,
into the mic.
you can't. You gotta speak, Mayor.
The mayor
dialogue, Mayor. It's called dialogue. Come on, Mayor. We're 6 acts in. You haven't spoken a word in this comic yet. Seriously?
You used to speak a lot.
Not now, man.
Not now.
It's intense now. Mayor didn't fully make it.
Ever since the mayor got a hand through the chest, he's never spoken a word.
Well, Carcat even said it himself. He's not quite there. He's a special friend.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on
91 Reasons. Thanks for listening to 91 Reasons. Please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. Find us on Facebook. Is anyone even still listening?